Okay, so today we're looking at volumes of a solid. So the volume is the amount of a three-dimensional shape. So now we're getting into shapes, three-dimensional shapes. So actually it's sort of like a whole object. And the volume is like if you fill it up with things. So often it says the volume of a solid with a uniform cross section is given by this. So what they're saying here, when they say volume equals A times H, what happens is when you find, which you probably have done, say you find the volume of a cube. If you see the formula for volume of a cube, it's actually length times 3, which means length times length times length. Now, if you have a look at it, this part here, if you have length times length, that's the area of a square, isn't it? Yeah, so that would be the area of that. And you can see then, to get the volume, you actually times the formula by the length of the object. And in a cube, it ends up being the same size as those other two sides. And that's why we get L cubed. So that's what they're saying. So here, where they say volume is the area, it's like the area of the face. So you might say the area of the face, and then the H, or times, it could be times the length of the object. Yeah? So we do have set formulas. So here, you can see we have volume of a cylinder. Now, what's the formula for area of a circle? It is, we've been doing this, what's the area of a circle is? Radius squared times pi, isn't it? Yeah. So can you see it's there it is in the volume formula. So you're finding the area of that circle and then you times it by the height, and you can see there. So can you see, even though we have a set formula for a cylinder, you can, it's sort of the same. We're saying that this is the area of the face times the length of the object. So down here, when we have, sometimes we get given these funny objects where there's no set formula for it, but can you see they have already told me the area of that face. They said this funny little shape up here is 5 centimetres squared. No, and it's an area, so it'd be written in centimetres squared. So if I'm going to go find the volume for this, and we're going to do the area of the face times the length of it, which is here. So we're going to do 5 times 2. So this answer will end up being, the volume will be 10 centimetres cubed. So notice now when we do volume, we'll have all the cubic units, so with the little 3 there. So over here we have a volume of a rectangle. So you can see here, this bit, length times width, that could be, we could be finding out, say, the area of this area, and then we're going to times it by the height. It doesn't really matter with a rectangle as long as you do all the 3 sides. Okay, so when we start talking about volume, often, like if we found a volume in, say, a can, we had a can and we found its volume. A can of Coke would probably be 250 centimetres cubed. But when you go into the shops, do you see it written as a 250 centimetres cubed? No. So what they do, when we start talking about particularly liquids, they start talking about capacity, and that's when they change those centimetre cubes or metre cubes, they change it to a capacity which is like mils or liquid. So can you see here, 1 centimetre cubed equals 1 mil. So when I said the can of Coke was 250 centimetres cubed, well, that actually means 250 mils. Okay, so then when you find, say, the volume of a swimming pool, you might end up with, you know, so many meter cubes. Well, you're going to change that to probably liters or kiloliters, yeah, because the swimming pool is talking in water and things like that. So you will, remember, you always have your book. So you do have these little conversions here to help you. So 1,000 mils is a litre and so on. But we'll make sure that this one is probably the most common one to change. You just have to change the centimetres cubes to the mils. All right, let's do a couple of examples now. So when they ask you, find the volume of this rectangular prism. So I'm happy for you to use your formula sheets. So you know the volume of a rectangle is length times width times height. So I might call this length, this width, and this is height. So you're going to be writing all of this out. You need to write the formula. Then you're going to write, double check they're all in the same units, which they are, meters. So then work it out. My length would be 6 times 4 times 5, which equals 120. Now what will the units be? Meters cubed. Good. So this box is 120 meters cubed. Here's a couple more. So find the volume of this rectangular prism. So rectangular just means like it's a rectangle shape, it's not a square. And prism just means an object. So you've got a 3D thing. So once again, you're going to write the formula. So volume equals of a rectangular prism. And I'm just going to write the things. I'm going to substitute in. So it's 10 times 4 times 9. So that one would be 360. What's the units? Good. Okay. If I wanted to change that to mils, say it was a little container, what would that be?
360 mil.
Good. Because 1 centimetre cube equals mils. Good. If I wanted to change it to litres, that would be, you divide by 1,000, so it'd be 0.360 litres, just to help you. So mils, if you want to go from mils to litres, divide by 1,000. If you want to go from litres to mils, what would we do? Times by 1,000. So maybe we'll write that in there so you've got a little bit of help in case you get a question, something like that. Okay, our next one, it says find the volume of the cylinder correct to 2 decimal places. So we need to be really careful with this. So go and look up your formula. It was written on that first page. So volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times h. Okay, my h is 6 and my radius is 2. So I'll substitute them in. So it'll be pi times 2 squared times 6. Then you're going to do that on your calculator. Okay, so we get 75.398. I'm putting 3 because they said 2. And we want to look at this third one. It is above 5, so the 9 has to go up, which means the 3 will have to go up, and it'll be 75.40, and this is centimetres cubed. Okay, so this could be like a little shot glass, 75 mils, a bit bigger than that. So if they said, you know, sometimes it's good to understand measurements and perspective. So if they ask you, find the volume of the water in a drinking glass, just remember a cup is 250 mils, or, you know, a can of Coke, it's probably bigger, isn't it? 300 mils, but think about that so that you can logically know whether your answers are right or wrong. Yes, you have to think about that. We use real numbers to help you be able to do that. So you know, whoops, I might have made a mistake. All right, so now with this one, it says it's still a cylinder. So I'm going to write the formula for a cylinder, which is pi r squared times h. So for this one, this diagram, the area of the circle is actually here, and then this part is the height. Okay, so if we go back, we've got a radius of 3 and a height of 9. So into the calculator, be pi times 3 squared times h. And 2 decimal places they want, so we'll do that. Okay, sorry, this I should have written 9 here. So 9, and we get 254.469, because I'm looking at the third. It is above 5, so this guy's going to go up. So I'm going to get 254.47 meters cubed, because it's in a volume. Okay, the next one. Now, this one, we've got to be careful. So read the question. This one wants litres, so, of water. So what I'm going to do is just find the volume first. So I'll go volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. So I'm going to say length, width, height. So I'm going to say 80 times 30 times 30. And we'll do that on our calculators. So we get 72,000. Now, this was centimetres cubed, okay? So I've got 72,000 centimetres cubed. If I want to change that to mils, what would it be? It would be 72,000 mils, yes? And now, good, excellent, well done, Michael. So divide by 1,000, and we would get 72 litres. Okay, so we know that the volume is 72 litres for this, what they asked us. Okay, so I have just popped a little bit, you've got this in your summary sheet. So here's some areas of some formulas of shapes. So we're just going to go through these, and you can add a few down the bottom so that you have these shapes if you need them in a test. Now, up here, these are area formulas, and I just want to make sure that you understand these formulas. So in the first one where it says the triangle is half base times height. So this one, it would be the base, and they would actually tell you the height like that if you were doing that. So you might also want to draw a right angle triangle in here in your summary and call that base, or that height and that base. Just so you know, if you get a right angle triangle, that will be your base and your height that you use. Okay, so when you have the rectangle, just right here, you might write this is width, this is length, just to help you. Now, with the trapezoid, you might write the word trapezium, because we sometimes say trapezium. Now, is half B1 plus B2. So this number up here is B1, and the one down here is B2. Okay? So just so you're aware, and they will give you the height like that. So you might just want to write in there so you're aware of what that is. So just to be double sure. So see how they say B1? B1 is the length across there, and B2 is the length across there. All right, just so you're aware. Now with the parallelogram, they will give you the base times the height. So once again, it's going to be, this can be the base, but they will tell you the height like that. Okay? And obviously the circle one, just be really careful. We know that the area, this is area up here, is pi r squared. So the radius is from the middle out to there. That's radius. Now when they say the circumference, so circumference, and you might want to write that equals the perimeter. That's the word we use for circle, perimeter. And that is just the edge, yeah? Just the edge. Okay, so just write those things down. You'll have this formula summary sheet, which you might just open up on your test, so you're not flicking. You've got everything you probably need. So maybe while we're here, we might write that 1 centimetre cubed equals 1 mil, yeah? And you might write 1,000 mils equals 1 litre, just to help you out. So it's all on one summary page.